Hello and welcome back. My name is Marvelous Marva, and today's episode is about being your own best friend. So somewhere in the title I've put in there, are you being your own best friend? And I felt like that was a good topic to talk about because I have so many things that come up where I want to look outside of myself and ask others for advice. And then when I sit with myself and I don't look outside of myself, then I realize that the answers definitely are inside of myself. So being your own best friend basically means that you encourage yourself, you trust yourself, you can ask yourself questions and get feedback and help yourself to make choices and decisions based on what it is that your heart and self wants instead of looking outside yourself for others. Lately here, there's been a lot of energy, and maybe not even lately, maybe for the past few years, we've been feeling a lot more lonely than usual. And people have been kind of isolating themselves, wanting to be by themselves. I don't think there's anything wrong with being by yourself. I think it is healthy to have balance. I think it's healthy to have time by yourself and time with others. And in regards to being your own best friend, sometimes, at least for me in the past, I needed people to be my best friend. I was not my own best friend. I was not making choices myself. I was not really in charge. I would make some choices, but other ones I'd be like, no, I better call such and such so they can let me know. Or I'd try to accomplish some kind of goal, but I needed someone outside of me to say, hey, you're doing a good job. I think it's okay and it's healthy every once in a while to get feedback, but I think that it's good to develop a good relationship with ourselves. It's important because say, for instance, someone else isn't there, or they're, living their own story, their own life. You don't want to get so wrapped up in needing others to help you with making your own choices, to help you get out of different emotional things that you could be going through. It is good to know that we do have a full support system out there in the world. There's so many channels as far as therapy goes, videos go, self-help goes. There's so much out there that we can utilize, but it's also good to know that there's so much on the inside that we can utilize as well, and that we don't always have to run to others. Sometimes we can just sit with ourselves, ask our own self the question, and then see what happens next. When I was younger, I would make a lot of pros and cons lists. Like that was how I survived my 20s. Oh man, maybe even younger. I would write out pros and cons. Is this person right for me? And then I'd write out a list of all the good things about that person and a list of all the things that are not so favorable. And normally I would still probably go back to being with that person, even though the list clearly shows the answer. And it would be because definitely I wasn't trusting myself first and foremost. And secondly, I didn't understand, the whole idea of being my own best friend and not needing others. And even sometimes having others tell me things, I would still, need someone else. Like it would be one person would tell me, and then I'd go, well, now let me ask Tanya and see what she thinks. Then I would need so many different opinions in order to decide what it is that I personally needed to do or wanted to continue or not continue in my life. Nowadays, I'm more so my own best friend. I'm just speaking for myself, but I don't look outside as much. I will say I do still do a lot of watching videos and self-help and learning. I think that's good for growth. But as far as when I have an issue that if I just take a moment to just sit with myself, the answer will come. I don't reach out to friends like I used to in that area. I think it's good. I think that it takes the pressure off of my friends to make decisions for me in my life. And I notice how it feels too when I ask those questions, because when someone asks me, hey, what do you think I should do with my life, X, Y, and Z? A lot of times I don't know what to tell them. I have zero idea. I might just be giving them advice based on whatever other experience I've either seen, witnessed, heard, possibly been through my own self. But it puts a lot of pressure on me, and I'm just like, I don't know if you should break up with that person, or I don't know if you should buy that house or that car or go to school, or others can't answer the questions that are important for ourselves. We have to make those choices for ourselves and develop that relationship within ourselves to where we don't have to go outside. It's okay to ask every once in a while. Like, nothing is absolute. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, well, don't ask anyone for help and just be by yourself. That's what is that? Too much independence? I'm not talking about being super independent like that, or hyper independence. That's the word. I'm just saying that it's good to be aware that you don't have to ask everyone those life-changing questions, that you can really just sit with yourself and be your own best friend and get the answers that you're looking for. So an example of how that would look would be, and I'll just do an example right now. So, Marva, do you want to be president? Maybe I should ask my friends. Maybe I should ask everyone if I should be president or not. Like, this is the scenario I'm playing right now. And if I really just sit with myself and ask my own self again, Marva, do you really want to be president? Then I hear the answers already. Like, right now I'm sitting here on my couch. I can hear the answer. The answer is no, I don't want to be president. No, zero parts of me wants to do that. If I were to go outside of myself and ask someone else if I should, they might give me a list of reasons of why it would be a good idea for me to be president. And then I might start, warping my reality around that and trying to convince myself that it is a good idea for me to do something that I absolutely know that I don't want to do. So I hope that example makes sense to you. And I hope that this video makes sense. I hope it adds value to your life and that you can have a greater appreciation of yourself and how magnificent you are, and that you can be your own best friend and you don't have to look outside yourself so much, and that sometimes life is easier. You can get through those moments much faster without reaching out to others, because sometimes you got to wait for others to answer you back. When you ask yourself a question, you can sit, be quiet for a moment, or just get busy cleaning up, doing whatever it is what you want to do, and the answers will come to you. You will hear it. And when you hear those answers, don't ignore it. Know that it is a direct message coming from your higher self of whatever it is that you are thinking about doing or not doing. So I'm going to end today's podcast, today's listening here. Please subscribe. Please comment if you want to. If you want to share a story about, how you've been able to be your own best friend, or even when you see things like that happening with others where they're reaching out too much and they're not being their own best friend, and you're just inside like, why do you keep asking everyone else questions about your own personal life? Give me some of those examples if you want to in the comments. But with that being said, I have a blog. My website is marvelousmarvadesigns.com. I'm going to put a link in the description. so that you can check out my weekly blog. I record my podcasts weekly, at least 1 to 2 recordings a week, and then my blog is once a week. So you can check me out on both of those platforms. Links are going to be in the description. And I want to tell you, wherever you are, you're amazing, first and foremost. And secondly, have a wonderful morning, evening, or night. Morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is, whatever time it is for you. Have a good one. Until next time, I love you.